in July. Then for the next quarter, we finalize on all the activities that will be remaining. Maybe, okay, should we go through this, or I show the ones that we've requested funds on, the specific ones? Because like in this page, in this first page, the first activity that will be implementing is activity 161, this one. And so for each region, we will need to get to 3,400 people in the local communities. We give them protective kits. Each will be given 2 face masks. Okay, don't mind about the cost breakdown, but the number, like, have you identified the areas that you can do this, or do we just go through this first, then what's your view?
Hello, Sophia.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we can. Yes, I'm getting you.
Yes.
Sophia?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so okay. Since you sent us this document to interrogate it further, I think we have not come together as a team again to look into most of the activities. I remember when we were in Bukura, I was pointing out some gaps. Yeah, so I don't know my colleagues, but we can as well go one by one per activity so that we see where the gaps are.
Okay.
Anyway, that is just my suggestion.
Okay. What about George?
Yeah, from my side, yeah, we can actually just go through it, we understand it. Then I think afterward we can now decide with the information that we have, we see where we can apply it within our counties. But otherwise, I think it is something that is possible. It's a matter of just writing it, going through it, understanding each step by step. Then I think selecting the beneficiaries, I don't think that it's a big problem, because you're already having the other previous program. We're already having some contacts in touch with. So it's a matter of just going through, understanding it, then we can look in a way forward on how now to select the beneficiaries. Over to you, Sophie.
So now we can do, okay. Caleb joined us.
Hello.
Yeah, morning, Caleb.
Good morning to you all.
So we are going through the activities.
Yeah.
Each activity, then I will share the specific ones that we are doing by this quarter, by end of this quarter. That is by end of July. That means we are going to implement it next month once we receive the funds. Yeah. So
then,
we start.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry I joined late.
Yes.
But I got you when you actually opening the document.
Yes.
Then, as Lydia said, I think that it will be wise if we go through the whole document so that we can see. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that is what we are starting on, and this is the first activity. Caleb, so we are focusing on going through the document, the activities. Since we've already read the other part, then we organize how we are going to implement this. So the first activity is conducting 2-day sensitization workshops.
Sophia, unakatika.
For 45 community health workers.
Sophia.
So we will have to look for 50.
Sophia. Hello.
Am I clear now?
Okay, yeah, you are clear.
Okay, so for this training, 2-day training, each county will have 15 officers. Then you'll choose the days to do the activity. And then have a facilitator to do the sensitization. Yes. Any questions on that? Because to me, I see it clear. In each and every county, you have to do each and every of this activity. But if there is a challenge, you can always let us know. And we are doing this in the areas that the project is being implemented.
Hello.
First activity, any issue?
Sophia? Hello? Yeah.
Yes.
As per the budget for the CHVs and the PHOs, it's listed here that we select like per county 15 officers. So for us staff, where are we? How are we going to reach the site? Are we also catered for in this budget, or we use the other activities funds? Because actually, if you look at this budget, it's just catering for the 15 people.
Yes.
15 CHVs and PHOs. How about the POs?
The field officers, how many? Okay, in your case, you're the only one who will be attending that training.
I don't know if I can invite my programs manager. I don't know. If the budget allows, I can invite our programs manager, who is my supervisor.
Okay, so I think we'll have to, Charles can help me answer on that. But I feel this is an activity that is focused on the CHVs, and for the staff, the budget can be in the normal activity budget. I don't know. Oh, okay. Give me a few minutes. Then Lydia, hello.
Oh,
Lydia.
Yes. Hello.
You can repeat
Yes,
the question. Charles, you can repeat the question. Then Charles will help me answer on that.
Okay, my concern was that this activity number 2.12, that is activity number 1, we are supposed to identify 15 CHVs and PHOs per county. So this budget is only catering for the external facilitator, for the training venue, and also the participants. How about the POs, that is us? Will we not be part of the training? And if that is the case, how are we going to report? And then also, since this is the first activity under the COVID-19 integration funds, I thought that it was wise if we could invite at least our supervisors, that is like one supervisor for my case, one supervisor, so that we walk the journey together. Isionekane kwamba hiyo green business project ya Lydia. You see?
Then
I don't know
Sophie.
if I'm clear.
Hello.
Okay, good morning all.
Okay, yes.
Thank you, Lydia, for your question. And can you hear me, Sophie?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I was saying that that's a good question from Lydia. Yes, Lydia. My net is not stable, seems.
Hello.
Hello,
morning,
Charles.
Lydia. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we are getting you, Charles.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah, so I was saying that thanks, Lydia, for your question. I think it's quite varied. And my assumption is that when you're working on the project document, you are the ones who came up with this work plan. No, with the proposal on what you thought you could do for COVID integration. So I would have assumed that at that point of the design, what you're raising could have been raised then and factored in. Nevertheless, I feel it's quite critical that we do adequate mobilization, and this being an integration project, and as we're integrating COVID within the existing green business project, there would be an assumption that you already have facilitation for field mobility so that you don't have to get stuck because of maybe you don't have transport for you to have been able to move to that place. And our assumption is that we're also working and mobilizing within the same activity areas where we have the green business project, because this is part and parcel of that. So there's a way I feel you can still be able to work and you achieve without necessarily overstretching the budget. On the part for involving the supervisors, your immediate supervisors, yeah, that is very critical. And we would encourage that the same way they have been supporting in the Green Business Project, we should also continue working like that. Remember, we have an MOU of rolling out this project together with the regions. And that's why even in the induction meeting for WHH, they brought on board the directors of the 4 institutions. That is ADS Eastern, ADS Western, NICA, and ADS Kenya. And the 4 directors actually agreed on the modalities of partnering and working together on this project. So it's not a project that revolves around Sophie and Lydia and Caleb and George, but it's a project that is institutional. Thank you.
Hello, Caleb. You had another question? You had a question?
Hello,
or
Sophie.
Your question has been answered.
No, please, Sophie.
Yes.
Hello.
What was your question on this? Yes.
Yes, as Lydia was talking, something prompted in my mind about the facilitator. When you look at the budget, we have only 1 facilitator for 2 days, and then we are 3 regions.
Yes.
So I don't know how we're going to do it.
Maybe Sophie can respond to that, but also my quick look is that for every day you're having 125 euros. That's an equivalent of how much in Kenya shillings? Is it around, even if you were to work with 110, that's already way beyond 13,000. So I'm not expecting that we'll be paying these facilitators 13K. So
Yes.
maybe that's something that you might want to look into.
Caleb, I would like to answer you from this part of the budget. This part has already factored in 3 counties, as you can see up here. See this. This is the total cost for the 45 health workers. So this is the amount per community or per area. Is it now clear? Caleb? Hello, Caleb? Okay, I think we can now proceed to the next part of the activity, which is disseminating the COVID information through short SMSs. And I know ADS Eastern, they have this platform where they do the short SMSs. ADS Western and NICA, Lydia and George, can you access to this The SMSing platform.
ADS Western. Yes.
Hello?
Yes, for ADS Western, we also have that platform. Hello, Sophia.
Yes. You have the you have the system.
Yeah, for
and you
ADS
have the
Western, we
contacts
also
for,
have that SMS platform.
okay, and you have the contacts for these guys in the area that you're implementing the project, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what about George?
Yeah, for ADS NICA,
Hmm.
like I said the other day, mine has to go to St. John. We've been discussing with the director in regard to this. The time I just saw that, so I had to go back to him to inquire. He told me ours is somehow not working, but it's something that we can deactivate it to ensure that it will not be a component that will fail the program. So this is something that I'll follow up, but I guess, and I hope, hopefully that will have also as well. So I don't think disseminating the information will be something that will not work over to our side.
Okay, and you all have the contacts that you'll be reaching out to.
Contact for who?
The 3,400 persons per county. This can be like, you can use the contact, the contacts from the trainees and the family members. Also, you can use a platform whereby you have contacts from the church or the ADS NICA institutional contacts to the village leaders in Kajiado, especially in the areas where the project is being implemented.
Yeah, I think it's something that we can organize because we're already in touch with several entities, including our institution, the diocesan churches, the clergies. So I don't think whether it's something hard. It's just a matter of now making sure that you get the exact number of beneficiaries that are stipulated in the proposal. So I think it's something that is possible. Through also the established beneficiaries, I think it's something that we can now link with the family members. So I think it's something that is workable.
Okay. Okay. So yes, I can hear you.
So I said it's something that is workable. It's something that's workable.
Okay.
Now that we're already at the ground with the other program.
Okay. 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 That's fine. So thank you for that. At least this one it will be smooth to implement in all the regions. So now we can proceed to the next activity, which is supporting the number of people, this number of people with the reusable face masks. And now when it comes to this, we will need, when you're distributing these masks, you have a way of verification that you gave the masks. We will need you to make reports, take pictures, clear pictures, and have signed forms. Anyone who has a query on this, I believe there is one. I don't want to mention it, so I want to hear your views on this implementation of this part. For the 3,400 people that you'll be reaching out, we will also need you to reach out to 3,400 people and distribute reusable face masks. Each person will get 2. Any queries on that?
Hello, Sophie.
Caleb, yes.
Yes, I think that in this budget, in the budget line part, we also need to consider the time we have and then the incorporation of other stuff in the same. So that's my concern.
Caleb, we cannot change the budget. That's the first thing. This is the money that we got. It's all that we got for this, for implementation of this. So we have to work around it and find how we are going to implement. If we focus much on money part, we are not going to be able to implement this. And this is, as Georgia said, you can use the platforms that you have with the ADS Eastern in the areas that you're implementing the Green Business Project. You can use through the church You can also go to Kwakadhoka and distribute to the, okay, there's a part for the students, but you can come up with a way how you're going to distribute the masks. If we focus on having the support, the financial part of this, we are not going to implement this project. And we already have the other part of the project, which is running. And we only have a month actually, once we get the funds to distribute this face mask. I don't think it's hard to do that. But I would like to hear your views so that we see how we are going to work around that. And as you can see, we have an estimate of about 50 shillings per face mask. So I also think we can save, we may, if we get a good distributor, we may save some funds here and we can use it during the distribution if that's the issue. We also have a provision down here for distribution purposes. Any query on this?
The hand of Lydia has been up. The hand of Lydia.
Oh, I was not able to see that.
So the hand of
okay.
Lydia has been up.
Lydia? Yes, okay. Lydia, please, you can speak up.
I even can't remember what I wanted to raise, but you can just continue. I think I'll raise when it comes.
Okay. Caleb, has your question been
asked? I have a query on this area.
Yes. Yes, Charles.
I have an issue that I want to raise in line with what Caleb is asking. And yes. When I go back to activity 2.12 on dissemination of the messages, my question is, yes, we do have the Data Protection Act. How do you ensure that the information, the contacts that you get for the targeted people doesn't contravene their privacy, and we are not seen to be like, people are not causing and asking how comes that we got their contacts and where did we get it from? So I don't know how we are going to go around that area of making sure that we have the phone numbers. And even as we send messages to people, they're not feeling like infringing on their space. I've seen you have indicated that the phone numbers are in place, but we need to be careful on that. Then on the part of the distribution of the masks, I think if we were to use the existing opportunities that we have, every time we have a meeting, we take the participant registers and then we aggregate those numbers, it might be possible for us to reach the 3,400 per county. It may sound to be a very small number, but it's not that simple. That one I know, having worked at the grassroots level. For you to just go and get 3,400 people, it's not that easy. And we also are constrained of time because this COVID integration, we need to do it in the current financial year. Every day, the context of COVID is evolving. So we are not sure if we stayed long, that the same, whatever we have proposed to do will be varied in the coming few days. Early in the morning, I was talking to someone and he was telling me that some countries have done 100% inoculation of their citizens. In Africa, we are far to reach there, but with the advocacy that we are putting across, if we get more vaccines, or if we get the breakthrough of making the vaccine locally, then we might slowly and soon get out of the COVID issues.
So the earlier we implement, the better for this project.
Yes.
And for our own
yes,
sake.
And using the current platforms that we have.
Hello, Sophie.
Yes.
Yes, I just want to go back to 2.12.2. 2.1, 2.2. I've seen that you've indicated that the phone numbers are in place. For us, I will not say that the phone numbers are, we have the system, but we still have to get the
you
phone
said
number.
you have.
We have the system in place. We have the system in place, but we still have to get the data. That's the phone numbers of the people who are going to benefit, because the phone numbers we have are mixed up. We have phone numbers from Kitui, Makueni, Machakos, and Garissa. So we still have to find data from the people from Kibwezi, East and West sub-counties, and the small extension of Makueni sub-county.
Okay. Okay. So we can work on that. Then we proceed to the next activity. This one is follow up on 60 women groups, self-help, each group 20 in 3 counties, each group of 20 in 3 counties. Any query on this one? Activity 2.123. Hello?
Hi, Sophie,
Hello?
there's a comment
There's
from
another thing.
Lydia in the chat.
Yes.
Lydia has chatted and said that in her counties, there's the lockdown.
Yes.
And a suspension of public gatherings for the next 30 days.
Yes.
So that might affect her startup. So that's something that maybe we need to put in mind. Yeah, even as we work on this.
Yes.
Secondly, Sophie, this is the condensed budget and and a proposal from WHH after we give them the one that we had. Yeah, in our version there was the detailed budget that we had broken down to what speaks to our context. So maybe even as we look at this, we'll still need to internalize whatever we had worked on. I know it was slashed. Our ambition was to have the 18 million. But they slashed it to 11. But despite that, I think we can still use it as a working document because ours is more concrete and speaks to the context as it is. But this one is summarized.
Yes. So I will have to work on the other one because there are some things that were condensed, others are removed. Then I can share it as a whole, the actual one that we had done. There are so many things that were changed from the one we had requested for the 18 million. You also did a different one for the 11 million, and it was also changed. There are some things that were removed, others were added. So also for the, this activity may also help us get contacts for this. Sorry? Hello? Am I clear? Can you hear me? Hello,
Sophia,
Lydia,
we are
can you hear
getting
me?
you. Yes.
Yes. Okay, I was saying the 60 women groups, the women groups, these we can get contacts from the groups if we already have them. These can also help us use it to distribute the SMSs. the contacts from the women groups. We can share the COVID SMSs with them. So I think this can also help us using this platform, getting the contacts from the women groups. And I don't know if we need more clarification on implementation of this. Activity 2.123. Any query on this activity for Kakamega? I know there's lockdown but the good part is that we've not requested funds for this activity yet.
Hello.
Yes.
For under activity, just go up again. Under activity 2.12, 2.123, activity 2.123.
Yes.
Down again. 2.13.
We're on this. We're on this.
For the number of, yes, for the number of women and youth groups from each of the 3 counties. So,
yes.
Yes. Is there any specification that we need maybe to have like 10 women groups and 10 youth groups, or we can just conduct the trainings even if we get like 15 women groups and 5 youth groups? Is it half, or what is the ratio?
No, it has not been specified. There's no ratio on this, as long as you have like a total of 20 groups.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but they should be of women and youth. The focus is on women and youth. Or maybe we can, yes? Hello, yes, Lydia?
Oh, yeah. So for each group, what number of people are we supposed to train? Is it 20, 15, or 30?
20.
Because you know, you see, 20, so it's okay. It's okay,
yes,
then.
20.
Thanks.
Each group, you get 20 groups in Kakamega. Each group has 20 people. That's clear, yes? Yeah. Lydia, you had a question when I was in Kakamega on this. About the transport reimbursement.
Yeah. I remember, Sophia.
Yes.
Sorry, Sophia.
Yes.
I remember. Are you getting me?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I was asking who is going to conduct the training? Are we going to hire an external facilitator, or who is going, or we look for our own in-house, like the people we have been using, and they are not catered for in this budget? See, we don't have facilitation for a trainer.
Yeah. Caleb, assist us on that. We worked on this with you, especially on this part.
Hello, Sophie.
Yes.
Hello. Yes, as for me, I was thinking that since we have the VSL training manual, we can facilitate the training, and then we reimburse the members of the group, because I think that each and every member of this staff has received the manual and gone through just a good part of the manual. So we can agree on which part should we train on for the 2 days, because the manual is actually very large, not that small. Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah. Then the other thing.
Hello, Caleb. You're breaking.
Yes. The other thing is on the transport reimbursement for the 1,200 persons for the 2 days. This one means that if we are going to reimburse these people, they have to be in that training for more than half a day. Yes, because if they are going to be for the training for for 2 hours, they should not be reimbursed.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, I've said that the training should take more than half a day. If you do the training for the groups for less than an hour, then they should not be reimbursed.
Yes.
Hello, Caleb. Hello, Sophia.
Yes.
Hello, yes, I can hear you, Lydia. Caleb, you're breaking.
I think the issue of transport should not arise here because maybe a participant has come from very far, even if he comes for 2 hours. But the issue here is the meals. It will depend on the time the training will take place. If it takes more than 3-4 hours, then we have to provide meals. But the issue of transport, I just suggest that they should be given, even if the training takes like 2 hours or 3 hours. But we can discuss on the meals part and see how we can go about it.
Okay.
Yes, Sophie.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, George.
Yeah, I was actually having a concern on that. It depends on which kind of a training that we intend to conduct. Is it an on-site or is it an on-site that maybe me and the facilitator, they want to move to where the communities are, or do they have to move to maybe a central point where now we can converge? Because I can see from 20 people, 20 groups, each group should have 20 people, then it means we can't confront them all in one point. Then it has to be done in several points, to my view. So if people have to move, then transport should imply. But if they don't have to move, we are the one to move to their selected point of trainings, then I think we're comfortable that we can only maybe give them the meal.
Hello, Sophie.
Yes.
Yes. When I was reviewing this one, I was thinking that we can only go to the sites where the groups, because when you bring all these people together, you mean that to have a group of 400 people in one place, converging in one place, which will be very, very much hard for you to reach them well. So this part of transport, maybe we can now see on how we're going to deal with it, because we can now opt to do the training for each group for at least a day or 2 days. Then the part for transport, we just relook on it, because converging 400 people in a place with the COVID-19 regulations, we're going to be doing a mess.
Hello? We cannot converge 400 people at the same place. It's even breaching the COVID-19 protocols. So the appropriate way is going to the 20. Yes, it's going to the 20 groups, going to the people and facilitating the training there. Hello, yes?
Hello, Sophia.
Yes.
Yeah, if you look at the budget well, it is saying that for 2 days.
Yes.
So it means 200 participants per day, which is not, it cannot work with the COVID-19. 200, I don't know the other areas, but 200, I don't know. Maybe others can also say something over that.
Lydia, these are 20 members. 20 members in each group.
Yes.
And you're going to have
20 groups.
Yes.
That is 400
That's
members.
400 people, yes.
Yes, for two days. Ukienda chini, sinasema 2 days. Yes, so it means 200 people per day. Ndio upate hiyo 400. Ama mimi ndio sijaelewa.
Lydia.
Naelewa.
Hello. Hello, Lydia.
Yes. Yes, Caleb, we can hear you.
Yes. Yes, Caleb. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we are getting you, Caleb.
Caleb, we can get you.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm talking to Lydia.
Yes, Caleb.
Yes, when you look at it from above, it says that you are conducting a 2-day follow-up training. So it means that you're going to do a follow-up training for each group for 2 days. So you're going to reach 20 members for 20 groups in 2 days each. So if you are doing planning, you are planning to reach 400 women and youth groups. So in your work plan now, you're going to see how you're going to do it. If you plan to make a visitation of either 3 or 2 groups in a day, then it will work better for you, so that you can do the same follow-up in the following day. Before the month ends, you'll have reached the 400 group members.
And also, Lydia, you're not training them on a full day basis. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. We can now move to the next activity.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So this one is clear. Any other issue on this? So we will be conducting a 1-day training of 60 women groups, that is 20 from each of the 3 counties, in soap making. This one, any issues on this?
Yes, Sophie.
Yes.
Why soap making and not yogurt?
Soap making because we are for the hand washing, prevention of COVID-19, one of the activities. Hello? Hello? I think I'm having a problem.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, we are getting
Charles,
you.
Charles, that was clear. Hello, Charles, did you hear me?
Sophie, I'm in a phone call with Dr. Steven. I'll get back shortly.
Okay. We decided to have this on soap making since we are focusing on COVID-19 prevention, and not everyone can afford sanitizer, and people are being asked to use soap and water. And then also it's a bit expensive to keep on buying this manufactured soap. So we felt that ladies, the women and youth can learn how to make their own soap and maybe even sell it for their own benefit. They get some money out of it, and also it helps them in the hand washing activity, and these can become as a way of them making more money out of this. Since it's a skill they are going to acquire. So this is how we are going to implement it. If there is anything that is not clear, please raise up your query.
Sophia?
Yes.
I believe these are still the same groups that we are
Yes.
going to work with.
Yes.
Yeah, and for the part of facilitator, because me, I don't know how to make soap. I've never been trained. Or
Any of the group members? Yes. Yes.
Because for
Caleb,
the part of the
again,
VSLA, for the part of the VSLA,
yes,
we have the manual.
yes,
Now, for the part of soap
yes.
making, who does that? Who will conduct the training?
Now, I think that these are now we now get help from the budget of the people will not maybe attend the workshop. Now we make an assumption that for the 60 groups there, for the 20 groups, let's say for the 400 people who we are targeting, you're going to get maybe 380. This means that you're going to have some budget which can now cater for that. I don't know whether it's advisable to do the same budget for the facilitator, Sophie. Now you're not going to guide us on that.
I'm realizing that right now I'm having a challenge on figuring out what we should do. Like, you know, these groups, is there no one who knows how to make soap? And also what Caleb has suggested, I think it's an idea, since it's within the same activity, we can have someone training the group. And I'm quite sure not every person that will be in for the trainings, and I also feel we can argue out that we had to get an external trainer to do the training for the soap making.
Then also, Sophie, from my side, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm also thinking of where will you be getting the ingredient, maybe for the practical part of it. Now that we'll be having different groups trainings, we need at least, like Caleb said, maybe we can factor in, because it is within the same budget line. If at all we can get some something out of it within the same budget, we can also factor in the ingredients for practicals.
Yeah, very true.
Okay, looking at the, okay, let me type this before I get. Looking at the next activity, they support 60 trained women and youth groups with soap making startup kits. So these women will be trained, they'll be given a startup kit on the soap making. And do you feel we can pick here and use it for the training, part of the startup kit?
Yes,
not all the women, yes?
Yeah, that's actually the idea behind it.
Yes.
The startup,
yes.
the startup kits will cater for the amount which should be used to purchase the raw materials for the practical. Yeah.
Yes, and some of it will go with the women at home for their own practices, right?
Yes.
So this activity goes hand in hand with this, because after the training they'll get their startup kits. So part of the startup kits can be used during the trainings. And I think that is clear, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we can remove this, or we just put it.
Yes.
We can cut it and just update here.
And Caleb.
Yes.
Caleb.
Yes, Lydia.
Yes.
I'm not a finance person or an accountant, but I think maybe Sophia can try to make this budget be into Kenyan shillings. for some of us to, like for my case, to understand it well.
Yes.
Like the other budget for the Green Business Project. Amma?
I will share a detailed one, a better, an improved one,
into
a
Kenyan
different
shillings.
one from this. Yes, I will do that. I'll do that. I will share that.
Into Kenyan shillings?
Yes. Yeah, this one we had worked on, the one that I had shared was in Kenya shillings. So I will update it to what we already have, the approved one. Then I share. Yeah. In the course of this week, I'll do that. Yeah. Then now we can go to the next activity, which is like straightforward. Support 60 marginalized market centers with hand washing kits and soap. Everyone can identify 20 market centers within the area the project is covering, right?
Yes, Sophie.
Hello?
Yes.
This one is clear. The 162, 1.6.2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Sophia?
Yes.
I think maybe during the training for soap making,
yes.
When we will assist the trainees to get the startup kits, we will tell them that when you are going to make that soap, we are the ones who are going to buy from you. Or I don't know if this soap you are still the ones going to purchase.
This one, I will get back to you on the soap part. We will discuss and see, because this okay, as I was insisting, this is a procedure that has to be followed up for any
procurement.
Yes, sorry, I'd forgotten the name. For any procurement with WH, they are strict. So this one, okay, I've seen the idea what you've mentioned. I also thought about it, about buying the soap from these guys, but now we need to follow the procurement procedures with WH. It would be a good idea if we ask the ladies to make the soap, then we buy from them. But now there's a procedure.
No, it's okay.
Procedure and also documentation for this. So this one, I can note, maybe note areas.
Just to build up on what Lydia has asked, WHH are mainly concerned with the paper trail that shows there was transparency and accountability in the process of procurement, and there was no conflict of interest. So in this case, it will be mandatory for us to have the quotations, at least a minimum of 3 that we can compare. And for these groups, if they are able to provide the quantities we need and they have authentic papers that they can share of their quotations of what they'll be selling, I don't think that is a big issue, Sophie.
Okay.
But I will follow, just keep it there, just keep the comments. Okay. Just redo again the comments so that we can follow up with them. Dr. Stephen has asked, I say hi to all of you, and I have some updates I'll share as part of the AOP once we are done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We can move to the next as I write on this. Okay. We are focusing on the 163, support local healthcare workers with the personal protective PPEs. So like a case in ADS Western, you can write on the other project that you're doing. I don't know if it's advisable. Charles can advise me on that. On this. This is, okay, this part of the activity is just direct and clear. So you're supporting 30 health workers from each of the counties with PPEs.
Sophie, I think this one is mainly for the health institutions.
Yes.
That are working in the area of, not working in the area of COVID, because no institution is working in that area. It's just making sure that the frontline workers, they are not exposed. Yeah, so maybe that's something that we can discuss. The regions would request the regions to discuss with their directors, and they can come up with a way of how we are going to support the institutions, because this means we must partner with the MOH. Alternatively, places where we already have ACK facilities, we can go to those ones. That one is easier, but still, we still need to talk to ADS regional directors, because that is something that touches also on the MOH. On the above activity, the market centers, how do you ensure that there's a visibility of the support from ADS, so that the county guys don't say, well done, you guys have provided equipment, and then they just go put their sticker there and they plunder their locations.
Charles, on this,
that's something we need to think about.
Yes. Okay. On this, I had talked to Dr. Stephen. Yes. He requested that we can come up with a draft sticker that will be done on the even the water tanks. These hand washing kits, the ones that look like a kamtungi, or the metallic ones. And we will have a sticker on them, on each and everything that will be distributed, especially the hand washing kits and the tanks, the water tanks, with a sticker showing that it was donated by the WHH, the ADS of that region, and ADS Kenya in partnership in the project, in the Green Business Project. So we will share, we are working on it with Dixon and Stephen, the communication officer in ADS Western. We will share it in the group, and then also we will share once it's approved by WHH, and it's WHH who will print it and distribute them to us. So the cost will be on WHH. They just distributed them to us. Then we ensure that when you're giving out these hand washing kits or the tanks, they have the stickers on them for visibility purposes of the project.
Well spoken, Sophie. My proposal would be to modify that idea, where you work on the draft, which since you've already started working on it with Dixon, then you toss it to us, the green team. We first look at it.
Yes.
If we approve of it ourselves, with the rest of the team in this group, that is Akina Caleb, George, and Lydia, and of course they will share also with their teams in their office. If all of us are happy, then that's the time that now we give to the partner for just review and approval. Why am I saying this? Because we also have a stake,
Yes.
And we would want, even the way the colors are done, they are depicting also the corporate colors of ADS.
Yes.
Yes, and we ensure that there's a lot of visibility of ADS, because it's the regions that are doing the implementation.
Yes.
And it makes more sense to the community when you go to Makueni and you're talking of ADS Eastern.
ADS Eastern, yes.
Yeah, than when you go there and you're talking of another institution that is in Nairobi.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But we also need to acknowledge the support from the donor.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so do you have a timeline?
For the...
When do you expect the poster from you, the draft?
Tomorrow.
Kesho?
Yes.
Are you sure utakuwa umemaliza by COB?
I already have a draft in place, actually.
Aya, bring it on.
I will share it tomorrow. I'll share it tomorrow what we have. Okay. I think now we can proceed. We can proceed to the next activity, which is support installation of water tanks with guttering system in the in 3 health centers from each county. So, Charles, this activity will have to be done like this one.
What
Hello?
is the take of the others?
Sorry?
What is the recommendation from the others?
Okay, yes. What is the view and the recommendation from the region?
Yes, Sophie.
Yes.
Yeah, from my point of view, this is something that is applicable because we can look, identify the most that are in remote areas, at least the 3 from each county. Then I think the procedures should be undertaken by the WHH because I believe they're the ones who are doing the procurement. Then, as you said, with the stickers, it's also something that we need to have it for branding, at least to show that this is a program that has been undertaken by this organization, blah, 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 like what you say. So I think with the 3 health centers from each county, from my side, it's something that is workable, as long as it's something that we can also do along with when we are doing the trainings with the women, the 60 groups. It's something that we can do. We can just identify them along the way. Then now that we set ready for the supply of the above said equipment. Over to you, Sophie.
Okay. And the view of Caleb and Lydia on this activity? George has mentioned considering the local health centers.
Yes, Sophie.
Yes.
I have a consideration of the local health centers.
Mm-hmm.
But now there is a part for installation of the guttering system that now requires some labor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I don't know whether if you do procurement from up there, whether you're going to have the consideration on the part of the labor or how it's going to be done.
Sophie?
Yes.
Allow me to mention something different.
Yes.
Yeah, from the design of it, normally what happens in terms of supply of gutters, we need to have someone with know-how on the engineering part of it in terms of identifying or even assessing the roof, the size of the roof, that will determine the size of the gutters to be bought. So this one maybe from the regions where we are working, maybe I don't know whether it's something that we can go through the office for WHH, like for my side, Kajiado. I know they have an engineer, but I don't know how we can contact with them because a survey has to be done. See, taking levels, measuring the roof, then that one will determine now the size of the gutters and also the capacity of the plastic tank that will be required in the identified local dispensary.
Okay.
Sophie?
Yes. The tanks were 5,000 liters.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I think we only need to maybe determine the size of the roof. Then that one now will lead us to know the number of gutters or the length and installation part of it, as Caleb said, that it has to involve some labor. In terms of the artisan or the fundi, who will now install the gutters, as well as also the tank. For the tanks, we have to consider the base. Now we have to design or construct a small base where now we will place our plastic tank, then now be connected with the gutters. Sophie?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Charles, I also remember you had mentioned on the base being concrete, having a concrete base. And as I can see here, we don't have like, we have not factored in that. I don't know how we are going to handle this. Any suggestions?
Yes, Sophie, I appreciate the feedback from the team.
Yes.
That shows they are very keen on the details, which is very good.
Yes.
The budget there, if you take the 600 euros, you multiply by around 125. I'm not sure how much you end up with, but that shows we have some provisions within that budget also to have the installations of those tanks factored in. Previously, what we have done when we had emergencies, we discuss with the regions and we would see, do we procure centrally, like we go to Kentank or any other place? And when you procure from the manufacturer, most of them will do the supply directly to the areas where we want the items to be taken. So maybe that's something that we need to talk with the regions, respective regions, just to ensure that they get at the most competitive price or the cheapest price without compromising on the quality. Then the part for making the base, there definitely they need to talk with their counterparts, WHH, respective WHH offices, so that they can start off the process. And thanks, George, also for raising that with Caleb, because I've realized we have not been taking full advantage of the existence of WHH field offices. And since they are also working with groups, even when you are talking of identifying the groups, I think that's something that would really help us to leverage and be able to move very fast in our course of implementation. Even the names that you are saying that you want to be texting, they already have people in their database. Could be we can ride on that also and see what we can do. When it comes to the facilities that you'll be identifying, when George was speaking, I thought maybe we need a criteria of how we end up with which facilities. And the ones selecting, I would pick the ones that are closest to my working area or the ones we've worked with previously, so that it's very easy for me to have inroads and also to create synergy across the projects. Okay.
Thank you, Charles, for that. And thank you, Lydia, Caleb, and George for contributing towards this. Yeah, that shows how keen you've been on this. Thank you for that. I really appreciate. So I think it's the high time we use the advantage of the field officers, the WHH field officers in the different regions. And we already have their contact. I think I had shared them with each and every one of us when we were doing the validation meeting. So we can also talk to them, even you see whether you can get the contacts. I believe they have the database on that. Yeah. So on this, we are going to consult and see how we are going to handle this, the procurement and the delivery and the installation. So next we can move to the support installation of 6 water. This one is for the training institutions. So it applies almost same to this. So I would like to hear your views on activity of 1.65.
Sophia?
Yes.
I think since the trainings, like for this year, it will be on-site.
Yes.
On-site training, such that the facilitators for my case from Bukura will visit the trainees on their farms or where they are centered to conduct the trainings there. So or maybe this was allocated maybe for future activities or what?
No, this
now that
this
Corona is with us.
yes, this activity.
Well,
okay, sorry to distract you. You can continue.
No, just continue.
Okay, I was mentioning that this specific activity was for the support for all the training institutions, like the 3 training institutions that you've identified: Latia, Bukura, and Makueni ETC. So these, okay, we didn't have the view that all the trainings for the short courses will be done on site for the most regions. Actually, it's for almost all the regions. So our view was that we'll have students in these institutions. We also need to support the institutions. And I feel we can take the tanks there, since we still are working with the institution, and still we'll have more students joining these institutions. Hopefully, when COVID subsides, we have more students who want to learn directly to the institutions, with the institutions. Yeah, so these tanks, they'll be taken to the 3 institutions, 2 tanks by each institution.
Okay, so still on that note,
yes,
I think under activity, the previous activity,
yes, this one,
yeah,
yes.
the ones you have highlighted in red,
yes.
I think from labor,
yeah,
you can just copy and paste, down there.
Okay. Yeah, so this one is clear, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And even your mambo ya procurement bado.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have the next one. So this one, we had a focus of having like the same number of trainees like we had for last year. We maintained the same number for this year, so that we have 480. Sorry, I'm talking about. Okay, how do I remove that? Okay, so we are on activity 166. And it's 480 students, green skills, business support with face masks, the reusable ones, which will get 4, sorry. So we already have 240 trainees, and we are very hopeful that we'll be taking them back. We'll be taking them to school soon. So these will be easy to distribute the masks, right? For especially the first 240. We have a focus on having another number similar to what we had. Is everyone okay with this? Are we having any issues with this?
From my side, it is clear.
Remember, when you're doing the distribution, of the masks, they'll sign against each for accountability purposes. So this will be okay. Any suggestions on this?
Yes, Sophie.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that one is something that is straightforward, because you already have the identified beneficiaries. As long as the training starts, then I think getting them is easy. So maybe what we delay a bit is the other number. But actually for the first 240, it's something that once they start the training, is something that is clear and we can do it. And already we have the database. It's a matter of maybe increasing more columns on where they should sign and the number of masks to be supplied. Back to you, Sophie.
Okay. Any other view, Caleb, George? Thank you, George. Oh, Caleb and Lydia, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't get the part of 2 masks, and here it is 4 masks.
Yeah, I said sorry. I had read 2. It's 4 masks per student.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we can move to.
Sorry, Sophia. This 480 ni wale wa gani?
480. For 80, we have a projection of having a similar number of what we have already have. You have 102 for Kakamega, right?
Yes.
So once we have this batch in school.
Now, sorry, Sophia.
Yes.
Sophia, now I have 101. You remember I told you one died. He was buried yesterday. The mentor.
Was the mentor a student?
Yeah, he was part of the.
Oh, Sophie.
Yes.
Yeah. I think from a point of identifying them, issue of mentors was something separate from the number given to each region. Because I remember from my side, I was looking for 36 beneficiaries and then having 5 mentors separate. So I think for Lydia also,
yes,
I think it's the same case. That still applies that she has 1 or 2 beneficiaries, and then on a separate platform that she was also required to have the number of 5, I think also 5 mentors.
5 mentors, yes.
Yes.
It's okay.
Okay. So Lydia, on that case, you have to replace him and have 1 or 2. I didn't know he was a student and he's a mentor.
So it means that I'll still have to replace all the 5 mentors with 5 now students, because I have 5 mentors and they were part of the students. So I'll have to remove them from the database and then identify other 5 students again.
I think that was the case. Yes, for everyone has mentors who are practicing this, and then students.
Oh, it's okay then.
Yes. So the 480 comes about with the 102, 36 for the first year, for the year of 2020. Then this year, we are hoping to have another group of 102, and 36. Once we work on that, now next year we can work on a number which is constant that we'll do for the remaining years, so that by 2024 we already have the 1500. So that's okay, right? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, so we can move to the next. We can move to the next activity. This is supporting the institutions with the disinfection materials, the sprayer, the chemicals, the solutions. Yes. Can we discuss this further? This activity. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Yes, Sophie?
Yes.
Yeah, I think for that activity 1.63, now that we already have the identified institution, like for my case, we have Latia. I think these are things that that are workable. It's a matter of following up with WFG, the procurement procedures. They do the procurement, then supplying the equipment to the institution. I think it's something that is workable because we already have the institution.
Yes.
And we're already engaged with them. So I think it's a matter of when are we getting them, then you let them know.
Okay. Your view, Lydia? Thank you, George.
Yes, I'm okay.
Caleb? Okay, then we can proceed to the next activity. This one is for our institutions. This activity 256. And as you can see, for the hand washing stations, we will support the three ADS regions. This is for the three ADS regions. So ADS Kenya, we have one. Okay, we don't have anyway. So this one didn't factor for ADS Kenya part. But for the sanitizer, this one, we have four jerry cans, and one of them will go to ADS Kenya. Then each institution will have one. So there are three. This one is clear. Sorry, oh my God. This one is clear, right? Hello?
Yes, that one is very clear.
Okay. The boxes, face masks. This is also it's inclusive of ADS Kenya, part of it. It was done like the previous one. The only thing that we are not getting from here for ADS is the hand washing. So this will be sharing. This one will be shared. Okay, the jerry cans, the boxes of face masks, and the soaps will be shared between the four of us. Is it clear? I think this is direct and clear, right?
Yes.
George?
Yeah, it's something that is clear.
Okay. Caleb?
Yeah. Caleb at the moment is not, no, he has come back.
Okay. I think he's going for some field activity somewhere. So Caleb, do you have an issue with this activity?
He's saying that his internet is unstable.
Okay.
Look at the chat.
Okay. I think I'm not able to see the chat or something. Yeah. So then we can move to the other activity. We'll have stakeholder meetings for information exchange. 5 meetings in total. But this is now for all of us, for the 4 of us as institutions. We'll be holding that. Because now, the COVID does not only affect the regions, it also affects us as an institution. So we will also organize for stakeholder meetings at our level, as you do at your level too. Is this activity okay? Maybe
No,
you can,
Sophia.
sorry? Yes.
It's not okay. Can you please explain further on it?
How did you understand it when you went through this first? Let me throw the question to you back.
Because if you go back to the initial project proposal of green business, the monthly stakeholder meetings, it is WHH that organizes for the meetings. Because I remember the validation, it is the one that was organizing. So
Okay.
for this
so
one,
ideas can do, then that's okay.
I was asking who is going to now to organize for this? Is it still WHH or what?
No, this is part of our project. It is us who will do it. Yes. So this one, we can do it as ADS Kenya and work together with the regions. So this is for the ADS team in the Green Business Project. Yeah.
And what is 1.95?
This is 1950.
Oh.
1950, yeah. So we are almost done. Are you okay with this? We will structure this out and share how we are going to work on this.
Excuse me, Sophie. even as we try to think through about this, I was feeling that maybe also the regions,
Yes.
I can see that you have a lot of consultations with the stakeholders. You cannot do renovations in a public utility or a public institution without involving the public health officers and the public works. So in that case, maybe the regions can also advise us where they feel they need some support for them to be able to have adequate stakeholders engagement. You know, the meetings between ADS and WHH, those ones we can do even virtually. But when it comes not to the government officials, all of us, we know how engaging they can be and demanding also.
Yes. Charles. Hello.
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Yes, it is true what you are saying, because what I have worked for ADS for quite some time. And what I know is that whenever we have any project that is coming on board, we always involve the stakeholders. We always call for an initial meeting to inform them of what we are going to do for their support and even identification of those sites and the beneficiaries. We do it collaboratively. So I was of the opinion that maybe if we can have, like, if you can facilitate us and have one stakeholder meeting for the start. Sorry. If we can have one stakeholder meeting for the start to inform them that we are incorporating the COVID-19 in our project, it will be better. Other than us just going, like, even for identification of those CHVs, PHOs, I know we have worked in those areas, but for the support from the stakeholders, we need to bring them on board. Sorry.
I agree with you, Lydia. Maybe what we need to also be cautious is that we don't pitch as if this is a new project we are starting. Remember, this is just an add-on on the Green Business Project. So if we inform them that what we are doing is to support the integration of COVID, and since I'm aware that the counties now they have the county, the COVID response teams. That's why I was feeling that if you were to work through the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education, they will be able to support us in that. So that if it's integration within the health institutions, then we know that the Ministry of Health are on board. If it's in the learning institutions, then we know that the Ministry of Education, they're on board. Maybe that's what I would recommend, so that we don't also get overwhelmed by their long list of demands. But having said that, Lydia, we are open to new ideas. We don't want to put boundaries around our thinking process. We are always open to new ideas, and I will try to be as accommodative as we can within the project.
Any views from George or Lydia, if you have any other view? Caleb, too, you can contribute.
Yeah, Sophie.
Yes.
Yeah. This is something that is important in terms of how we want to implement it, because we already have issues with the stakeholders in terms of the last meeting that we held, and to avoid further implication or even further issues. Good that Charles already cited that we can work with the Ministry of Health as well as Ministry of Education in terms of establishing the CHC the CHVs, as well as the PHOs. We can work because it's a program that we are integrating with the one that is already existing. It does not look like it's a new program. It's something that we are integrating with what we already have. So it's a matter of engaging the ministry cited so that we work, or even we walk the journey together. Let's not take it as a new program, because as per what has already been budgeted, it's already exhausted, and now engaging other implementing agencies, it now need us to restructure the budget, of which the budget is already at its minimum point. So it's a matter of getting in our minds that this is an integrated program with the existing project. That is my view. Over to you, Sophie.
Okay, thank you, George. Caleb, you have any comment? Is he in the meeting? Caleb? Yes, lady, I see your hand is up. Hello?
I think I need to put my hand down.
Oh, okay.
Hii ilikuwa ile ya kwanza.
Okay. Okay. Then we have this second last part on logistics and distribution. Is this one clear? Do you have any comments or suggestions on this 262? Hello? Lydia, George, Caleb?
Sophie?
Yes.
Yes, for me, I can say that this now is somehow confusing me.
Sorry?
It's somehow confusing. I just wanted to know whether when these vehicles now come to our regions, we're going to spend just 2 days to distribute the water tanks and the hand washing kits and the face masks.
Okay. What was your view? Before I answer. Okay, I can say I was of the view that let's say like these items, like when we are doing the procurement and we have identified the supply of maybe the tanks, by the time we are getting the tanks, we've already identified the specific health centers that we want these tanks to be taken to. So if we get a supply of maybe the tanks, who does deliveries directly? Let's say like Kentank, we buy tanks from them, and we have these health centers that we've already identified, and we also have like Makueni etc. They do deliveries directly to the institution. Then the installation part is left for us. Or I don't know if the supplier will also have the services of installation. And also now there are some things that may be delivered to the ADS regions, let's say like face masks. And it wouldn't be hard to do a 2-day trip or a 1-day trip to the areas that we have identified, like the health centers or these towns that will be supported with the hand washing and soap kits. It is a one-off trip if the items are not large. So it can be done not more than 2 days. It's just a one-off trip.
No, Sophie.
Yes.
What if we, as you now open the call for quotations,
Yes.
we require the people from the regions to also quote for the same distribution, so that maybe they can be pre-qualified for the distribution of the same materials.
Hello. Kindly, can you repeat? I have not heard you clear.
I've said that when we open the call for quotations for the distribution of, let's say, water tanks, we request for the people from who distribute to the regions to quote from that side, so that maybe they can be pre-qualified to distribute the same materials from within, so that we can be at ease of distributing the same material. Because when I look at distributing 5 water tanks, it will mean that you do trips for maybe a whole day to ATC, to the 3 health centers, because I don't know whether we'll have a vehicle which can ferry 2 water tanks that they go. Then for things like the hand washing kits, we can also have them still quote.
Okay, the size of the tanks, that's large. Yes, I understand. Let's say like the hand washing kits. Maybe if we are when we get to that state, that is when you're doing the distribution, we load them, all of them, to the vehicle and have them distributed now to these different areas. Like you organize them. If it's a mini lorry, you organize them such a way that you know this one is going to area A, we distribute these items, then we proceed to area B, then C and D, like that. But for the tanks, this one, I think the best idea would have been the supplier to deliver to the specific area, if it is possible. So it's something we can factor in when we're doing the call for quotations.
Sophia?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
I'm backing up Caleb, because normally we see on the internet when these suppliers are looking out for customers, they always tell their customers that if you buy from us, we will deliver. Yes. So if you are going to give them that work of buying from them, then they should deliver, especially for Kentank. You just agree with them that if we are going to buy from you, are you going to deliver to our destinations?
Yes.
Yes.
That is okay. Then now that means we have to have identified the specific health centers that we want these items delivered to. At least we already have the institutions, the learning institutions. For the health centers, we have to have identified them, because we cannot buy tanks and then have them delivered to only, let's say, like Bukura. Then after that, we buy more tanks and start asking Kentank to deliver to these maybe specific health centers. It would be easier if we ask, if we are purchasing from them, we're asking them, we want you to deliver to these 10 areas or these 5 areas. If they're okay with this, they do the deliveries, and then we'll be there to confirm that the whatever we ordered has actually been delivered to that area. So it will be easier for us if we go that way. And maybe even cheaper. But the items that we need to take them in person, especially the hand washing soaps, kits, and maybe distribution of masks. Yeah.
Sophie,
yes,
I agree with what my colleagues are saying, and of course, it's always in the best interest to procure locally. It saves us a lot of logistics issues.
Yes.
And my thinking is that maybe as we do the procurement process, which also we have to loop in WHH, we'll put that across to them, so that if we get quotations, actually we'll seek for quotations even from the local level. That is through the ADS regions. If we find their prices are competitive or they are the same, there's no need of procuring something from our end and then we send it all the way.
Yeah.
It will be easier to just buy locally, and that way we reduce a lot of bureaucracy and the logistics that are involved in the process. So maybe what is very important for us is just to ensure that the process is transparent and we have a very credible process so that no supplier would come later and complain that we picked somebody, this one or not this other one. Or they start complaining that they were discriminated.
Okay, and Charles, just a question on this.
Yes.
We have been talking with Caleb, Lydia, and George, and we needed clarification on especially on the procurement part. When you're doing the call for quotations, or you're doing the procurement, will the funds be distributed to the regions, or will we have to procure directly from ADS Kenya?
That's beyond me because it borders on the finance and admin.
Yes.
So my advice would only be taken as a suggestion at their level.
Yes.
They're not bound to stick to my advice. So if we have been sending funds to the regions, I don't see the reason why we should also not send these funds to them. But that one will stand to be guided by the finance. If they feel that they want to pay from one central point, especially because of the requirement of monthly reporting, yeah. One of the challenges we've had is delays in reporting. So if we are able to lessen the bureaucracies, that would really work.
Yes.
And if the regions commit that they're going to be very prompt, then that would work. So let's wait to be guided by the finance, but that's what would recommend.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Charles. So I think we're on the last part. Sorry. Any other question? We have one final part.
Sorry, Sophie, for interrupting.
Yes.
I just want to back up on what Charles has said. If a procurement is done on either side, it will be very easy to distribute the materials from the regions rather from the central office. Because I look at it when I'm receiving 5 water tanks. Those are maybe 3 lorries. Then 1 lorry, I take it to Makueni at TC. Then now I move with the other lorries to the health centers. From this region, if now we do give the tender for delivering the tanks to maybe a handler or just somebody from this region, now that person now has the visibility of the whole region. So if you tell the same person to take the water tanks to a certain place, even without your presence, that person will do it. Then we just go and see whether what we wanted to be done was done.
Okay. Okay. We will be communicating on this part once we are advised by the finance department on the procurement aspect of it. Then we can, yeah. We will inquire and share. We'll get back to you on that. So the last part on 292 is a travel allowance for ADS staff during the distribution. This is for the 2 days that Lydia was asking about up here. This was 1 staff per county. So this means like Lydia will be there during these distributions, or Caleb will be there during this distribution. You're the project officer in that area, or George will be present in this during these distributions. So that is what this means. Any query on that? The last part, the 292, or any suggestions, any views?
Okay.
Yes.
Seems like in total you have 900.
Yes.
For ADS travel during distributions, and we have 3 regions.
Yes.
So that means it's about 300. That is about 30,000 per region.
Yes.
I know the exchange rate would be favorable at the moment, so it will be higher than that.
Yes.
So can we just agree that that fund we designated for the respective regions?
Yes.
They work on the distribution.
Yes, they work.
There's the danger of being equity, of being equal, given the same allocation.
Yes.
But I think also the distances, they are not the same for the regions.
Yes. Yes.
So maybe that's something also to consider. But you can give us a formula on how do we ensure that those funds are accessible to the regions. Also for the other one that is up there for the logistics, I have seen that there are eight trips.
8 trips.
My assumption is that each region would get 2 trips, just for planning purposes.
Yes.
That is for travels.
Yes.
But for the casual laborers, that's straight to the local level.
Yeah.
Unless maybe there's something that will be procured centrally and will be billed for that. But we'll try to avoid that as much as possible.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yes. And maybe also there you need to provide some return travel for ADSK in the event that maybe we might have to go and confirm the distribution. You know, one of the requirements nowadays is for us to do monitoring.
Yes. The eight
so maybe
is
that's something that we can look into.
Okay.
Yes.
The 8, when we are doing 8, we had identified 2 from ADSK, then 2 trips for 1 in each region. So we had included for all of us for the trip. We will review, maybe we may need to visit 1 area or 2 areas during the distribution days. And then also this travel allowance is for staff during distribution. There was a question on how are we going to distribute the masks? How does it cover for Lydia or George or Caleb to do the distribution of masks in these communities, or during the distribution of soaps and all that? It's factored in an estimate of the 30,000 per region. This part. So we will see how we'll be able to save some cash and also do our M&D, since it's our requirement at ADSK during the project implementation. Yeah. So I believe we have covered the main activity of the day, and I will be sharing this with all of us, this document with the comments and follow-ups for us to be counting on it. Then I wanted to project something shortly, if you don't mind. Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, I wanted to share what on this presentation, today's presentation, I wanted to share what we'll be reporting on probably by end of July. Can you see what I'm sharing? Oops, sorry. Can you see the Excel document? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see
Yes.
you.
Okay,
We are
this one
seeing.
is factored in for implementation during May to end of July. So in the part of the COVID integration part, we will need to account for this. This is the first thing that we've requested on. You can note that on the support of this, that is activity, okay. Yes, this was the direct activity. We will be doing this before end of July. This is one of them. Support vulnerable people with two reusable masks. That was a total of 3,400 people for each community. Then also we will support the market centers. This is the funds that we've requested. This is what I'm talking about, this area, because this is the budget and this is the things that we are going to report by end of July. So it's something that once we get the funds, we're implementing it very fast. Support people with personal equipment, hiyo ni ya kwanza. Then you have a second one, support market centers with the hand washing soap and kits. So you need to identify the market centers, the 20 market centers for each, I think. I will also highlight them when I'm sharing the document that we have previously worked on. So this is the amount in euros we've requested for that funds. There's next is this. We will be distributing these water tanks to these institutions. So I think we will also have to factor in the quotations as we have discussed. Next is this, the face masks. This is for the students. We've already discussed about that. We already have 2 to 35. Once Lydia works on the 5, there will be 240. So we can distribute half of this. I think I did a request actually for the 240. It's not for the 480. This is for the 240 since we have the 960. So we are getting funds for the first group of students. I did half of it. So we have a balance of 480, which I'll be requesting after July, once we are getting the next batch of students. So for the 240 students sorted here, we'll be doing that before end of July. Then next is inspection. These training institutions support with the disinfection items. We did a request for that. The whole amount, it's a one-off buy off or something. Next is, okay, these are the normal activities that we do. You see, we've already requested for some fees, yet we don't have the students. That's why we're having problems. We've not reported anything on the student fee. So we are just going direct to the COVID. We have this item, the 2-day sensitization for 45 community health workers. We have to work towards that. We did a request for the whole amount since it's a one-off thing, 2 days, and we are done. Then we start on the COVID-19 dissemination. The funds, the budget is 12,750, but we've done half of it. So that we start off by the end of November, we'll have requested the last batch. So this is to be factored in. And so far, that is what we've done. For the travel expenses, the amount has been added. So don't worry about the logistics, it's already factored in. So when I'm sharing the previous document that I had shared, I will highlight the key items that we need to report on, or we need to have a work plan towards them, such as this, the 2-day sensitization, the dissemination of COVID SMSs, the support of institutions, the 480, the green skills trainees for 240. This is the amount. The total amount is 960 for the 480, but we are starting with the number that we already have. So the funds are there for that. We are expecting the funds anytime soon. Then installation of the water tanks for the trainings. So the one for health centers, I think actually hii itakuja baadaye. So we are getting the tanks for the institutions first. Then after July, we will request the one for the health centers, this one. So hii haiko kwa sasa, tupangi kwa sasa. Then now we have the 60 market centers. Actually, we are not going to buy soaps from the ladies since it's not in the first request. We have to purchase soap. We had requested for this amount for the soap. Then next is the reusable masks. So after this, when I share the previous document, which is this, when I'm sharing this document, I'll include another column, or I just highlight the ones that we are starting on. Like in this case, the first on this page will be this. This is what we'll start on. We will work on before the end of July. So I'll share it when it's highlighted like that, so that you'll be able to organize yourself how you're going to do that before end of July. So I hope you've understood. Is everything clear?
So Sophie?
Yes.
Do we need to request for the funds, or you're going to just send the funds as per the budget?
For the part of COVID, we have to be advised from the finance department. That is what we had already shared before. What we are requesting, it's the normal financial request that we usually do. But once we're advised by the finance department, we will advise you. We will even share the budget with the integrated COVID funds. But for now, we just wait. If we are procuring things from the regions, we'll send the money with also the guidelines on how it's supposed to be done. So yes. Any other question?
I think from my side, Sophie.
Yes,
at least you've gone through the document.
Yes.
It's good that you summarize as per what you say and what we need to start.
Yes.
Summarize the document, then share it early in advance.
Yes.
So that we can also go through it. And in case of any other additional information that we may require, I think the podium is still open for discussion for us to understand it and ensure that we implement as per the developed plan to meet or even to meet the deadline. Otherwise, for my side, of course, learning is always a continuous process. We can always brief each other in terms of maybe any hiccup. So I believe we are open for learning as well as for discussing further. Otherwise, thank you so much. And back to you, Sophie.
Okay, thank you, George, for that. We look forward to implementing this in the project. And also now I welcome Lydia or Caleb for their comment before Charles gives us his final comment.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, Lydia.
Hello, Sophia.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for the elaborate discussion of the document. However, I would like to request that now that we have restrictions in Western and Nyanza, yes. So I don't know which activities we will start with. Like for the SMS platform, that one is, it doesn't have an issue, but yes. The ones that we are gathering, like for example, if we are going to distribute the the hand washing machines to market centers, you know, it will attract a crowd. So, and you know, we have timelines we are supposed to report against. So
Yes.
I think you can advise on that. And also another one on issue of funds. Like what we have been working, we've been working using our money, and then IDS reimburses. So is it still the same with this one? Or I think you can, I didn't get that part well. As you see, this one is quite hectic. And maybe you can liaise with our ADS finance teams, maybe for further directives. Thank you.
Lydia, I've heard you, and we have heard you with Charles, and I think I would request Charles to advise us on that, on the reimbursements of funds, but I don't think the COVID funds will be that way. Especially for this, it will be as per activity. Yes. I don't think it will be as how it has been before, because these are milestones and activities that have to be done. If you have to meet people and reimburse them transport or have meals, these are funds that you should be having before even the activity is done.
Yes.
Yes.
That will be better.
Okay. Charles, would you have anything to add on that question by Lydia?
Okay, thank you, Lydia, for your inquiry. And what I'm finding is that despite the COVID situation, you do have other projects that you're still running with. And in such a time like this, when we have COVID, you know, this is an emergency. And being an emergency, timelines are of essence in the response, yeah, for us to be relevant to the beneficiaries. And I think in such a time like this, if any stakeholder would come to the Ministry of Health and say to them that they are willing to provide some PPEs, they are willing to support some hand washing items and any other support that would go towards preventing another person from getting infected, that would be considered to be very timely. And the sooner we're able to start off those activities, I think the better for us. At the same time, we must also remember that as we take care of others, even we ourselves, we are also at risk. So we should also not jeopardize ourselves or put ourselves in a risk situation. We need also to take precautions. And that's what I would urge all of us, that even as we roll out, even as we engage with the county guys, we need also to be very careful. The truth of the matter is that they are still meeting, especially from the Ministry of Health. And just a caution to all of us, I'm not stigmatizing anybody, but I've been telling my colleagues, whenever you're meeting government officials, you need to be more vigilant. Why? Because the nature of their work requires that they interact with so many people, and them being policymakers and legislators, they cannot avoid it. So their risk of getting infected is higher. Actually, they are frontline workers. So even for you as you engage with them, please exercise caution, and let's all prioritize to remain safe. So Lydia, I think that one I've left it not so conclusive, because you also consult your director, and he will advise you in the light of how you are running other programs that you have, programs of health, and also the other development projects that you're running. On the issue of funds, I'm really not sure that we are working on reimbursements. Maybe Sophie can let me know where the issues could have been. because when you're working on reimbursements, that used to be not the normal way of working. And that had been occasioned by a delay of us getting returns from the field offices. You remember there's a time we even signed an MOU with the regions. And then I had proposed that once we get funds on a quarterly basis from WHH, we immediately transfer those funds to the regions. They roll out and they be liquidating on monthly basis. That was not possible. It was overruled by the finance when they insisted that because even WHH, they ask us to account on a monthly basis, then we will not be able to honor that part where we disperse funds on a quarterly basis. So I don't know how, Lydia, you're going to work on this to ensure that once Sophie has gotten your request, she work overnight, ensure that you get funds promptly, but before the end of that particular month, you have accounted back everything, because that's now the requirement of WHH. And the situation is a bit tight because they also require us to do bank reconciliations. So if you say that you sent maybe 100,000 to Western, then they need to see that, yes, you sent them 100, they spent 98, and they have rebanked the 2,000. So that's the kind of tight control environment we are finding ourselves working in. But we are not allowed to use our own money for the project. In fact, that's why we have even been having delays in reimbursements of the stakeholders who attended the validation meetings. Because we suggested that we use our money, WHH refunds us. They said no, capital NO. So even for the regions, if they know that that's what you'll be doing, we'll be in a lot of trouble. So Sophie, back to you. Ensure that there is a smooth coordination between our office and the field offices, so that that issue is not constraining implementation. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Charles. I just need one clarification from Lydia. For the field activities, do you use your funds, then you're reimbursed by ADS Western, or does ADS Western give you the funds to implement the field activities? How does it go?
I don't know the MOU that the initial MOU that was there, because most of the times you find that ADS Western maybe does not have the funds at the beginning of the month. So I'll have to use my funds up to like 20 something. So whenever I make a request, now they will reimburse me, or they will send me the money when the money is available. Now I don't know where they get the money. So the time I make my surrenders, my accountabilities to ADS Kenya, that's the time now you send that money to ADS Western. Yes. So ADS Western has to look for ways to give me the funds for me to conduct my activities. But sometimes you see they don't have the funds. So I have to look into it. Mimi mwenyewe nijue venye ninaenda kazini. But mostly it is ADS Western that huwa wananipatia. Yes, wananipatia. And then you, ADS Kenya, you will reimburse ADS Western.
Okay.
Yes.
May I interject?
Yes.
My request would be, because it seems like sometimes we have challenges at the local level, I would wish that you take those issues bilaterally with every staff. Yeah. If there are any hurdles of facilitation for field work, then you can see how to address it from that perspective. Yeah, because as I have said, that's the official position. Yeah. We are not allowed by WHH to pre-finance. That's what they said. And now with that, we don't want to contravene. And we also don't want a situation where a staff is being put in a very precarious situation where they have to go look for money, even if it's borrowing, just for them to be able to do implementation. So kindly pick it up with the respective staff And you see how you streamline also our reporting, because I know sometimes that's where the challenge is, yeah?
Okay.
Yes, when you send your request to the finance and they're saying, look, you gave money to this region, they have not accounted, so we cannot release their check immediately. Yes,
Okay.
but those are internal issues that we need to address urgently.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Lydia and Charles, for answering and helping explain further on the project. And now I also give this chance to Caleb.
Hello, Sophie.
Yes.
Yes, I've been in and off of the meeting. My network is not very much stable. So for me, I just say that we'll be getting in touch with you and then we'll be sharing on the way forward. Then the other concern was on what George was raising. We are now not at a good stand with our stakeholders. So we were to give us some feedback on the reimbursement. I've heard Charles talk a bit about it. So I don't know what was the feedback from WHH.
From WHH, as of last week, these are a list that they were to share with us. Then you share with all the participants who took part in the event. They sign a participant list, then they get a reimbursement. After that, we work towards having a confirmation, a document or a list with their names and confirmation that they got the reimbursement of the 1,500 shillings. So I don't know if Charles has received any information from Stephen today, because we talked to him, so he will be advised, he'll be sharing with us more information on that. But meanwhile, in the course of the day, I'll be sharing a list that you can share with the participants. They sign so that they get their reimbursement. Yes. So now I give this chance to Charles. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sophie, and thank you all for holding to the end. I want to start by responding to the query from Caleb. It's true, Caleb, we are under a lot of immense pressure. Sophie has been updating me. I've also been seeing the communication on social media. At one point, I did something that was not ethical because I screenshot your discussions on the stakeholders issue, and I shared with WHH. Their program manager called me. And I explained that you have our team on the county, they are finding it so difficult to engage with the stakeholders because they are being accused that could be they got the money and you spent it. So we need to redeem ourselves. And at that point, it's when now I was explained where the issue was. And the issue was that the finance office of WHH, since they are the ones paying, they demanded for the participant register. At one point, they had said that we sign the participant register. You also give the participants also the form of the amount of money they were supposed to receive, the 1,500. And then once they sign that, we take it back to them. They are going to upload and pay. I told them that would be very difficult. Maybe the register we can try. And our push was, why don't we first pay? Then our staff will follow up those people to sign the two documents concurrently. They said no. They need a signed participant register for them to be able to pay those people. And then I advocated that they then use the M-Pesa statement as a confirmation that actually the recipients got their funds. Because we tried to explain with Sophie that, you know, if you take a situation like for Caleb, who is in Makueni and he has to travel all the way to Wote for the government people, then he travels to Kibwezi for the other stakeholders. And then he does two trips. The first trip to sign the participant register, the second one to have them sign acknowledgement of the funds. it will be too expensive. He might even end up spending more money than what we are paying out. So as we speak, that's where we are. And that's why Sophie has said that she's sharing the form that we should go back to the stakeholders who participated. They sign in the attendance register. And then from there, we share back with the WHH to pay. We even asked that they allow us we pay from ADS, then they reimburse us. And we'll give them the M-Pesa confirmations, the statement confirmed, verified M-Pesa statements, together with the signed register. They said, no, you're not allowed to use your money and come for refunds. So Caleb, we hear you. We understand the challenges that are there at the county level. We have tried to do everything humanly possible to fast track it, but there are procedures within WHH which are like the laws of Persians and Medes, which can never be changed. So please understand us, and let's try to see what we can to have this process concluded as soon as possible. Okay, then I also talked to Dr. Stephen in the course of our meeting. He called me, and there's some discussions we've been having, especially on the curriculums and the trainings. And our push with Sophie has been that we are in year 2 of the project, which is almost coming to an end, and we have not trained a single student. So we were telling them we are not feeling the value of ADS in this project, because these are things that were supposed to have been straightforward, but the issue of curriculums, review, accreditation, etc., they have kept us going in circles. And we are feeling we are getting exhausted. Our staff also on the ground, they are feeling frustrated because they recruited the trainees, they talked with the stakeholders, they did the mobilization of the training institutions, and all these stakeholders have been waiting. So as ADS team, we are feeling that we are getting fatigued, and we are feeling frustrated by the process. So we were given a waiver that for the short courses, the ones between 1 and 3 months, we can start off the trainings. So we only need to discuss with the institutions, agree on the modalities of how they're going to do it, even if it's remotely. We also agree on the budgets, and then we draw a service contract with them, just indicating that we have agreed you're going to help us to train this number of people at this cost, and what are the terms of engagement. Once that one is done, we feel that we should be able to start off almost immediately. That is a big reprieve for the ADS team, because we've also been pushing for Kwakaloka to be allowed to do their trainings. And the issue of accreditation kept on haunting us. Now that they have been allowed, now that we've been allowed to do the short-term courses, which only need internal organizations, internal learning institutions approval, that means we are no longer tied for the short-term courses. This came with a rider that for any course that is more than 3 months, TVET, CDAC require that it must be accredited. So ZISI will continue to engage you, all of you, together with the institutions, to finalize the process of accreditation of the long-term courses. And we hope that as they do that, as we can start off with the short-term courses, and we have the ball snowboarding, that is, as we carry along. So that's the feedback I've gotten from Stephen, and we have agreed that he's going to write officially to that effect, so that even as we engage the institutions, you're so sure that this is the position of the partner, of the funding partner. Then on the issue of implementation, BMZ have raised a concern on this project. And their concern is that still at the moment, our burn rate is very low, which is true because bulk of the funds are for training, and without us training, we cannot be able to absorb. Otherwise, we risk being asked to pay back. So we have been requested to try our very best to fast track implementation. And I urge all of you, that we now push the institutions to give us the curriculums and also the curriculums of what they're going to be training. The ones for Bukura and Latia, they have already been confirmed by Zizi verbally. I have demanded for a written confirmation because you shared them in email, then they should give you feedback on email that you're okay, you can move on with those ones. If there are any gaps they observe on the life skills and such, we say those are issues that we can try to mainstream along the way. So even for Kwakadoka, we would request Caleb to follow up, have them share their curriculums with Zizi, just for ratification and for formality. We don't want to be accused later on that we are doing our own thing. But when that information is in the knowledge of everyone, then that way you're also protected. So that's what we request Caleb to help us do, so that God willing, by beginning of July, I think we should have the students now starting to enroll. There's another concern that has come from that is about the burn rate, and we need to fast track that. On the issue of funds, Sophie, I have been informed that the request for funds was processed, and by now the funds are supposed to be with ADS Kenya. I've followed up with Dorcas, even in the course of the meeting, and I've requested her to check with the bank because they have not notified us. So our finance and admin, they're going to be following up. And we hope that as soon as we get the information, we'll let you know. And not just know, before we get that notification, we have a window to be working on our work plans and budget forecasts or estimates, so that you can also raise the request for funds. Let them be with us, so that as soon as we are told by the bank that the money has cleared, then we can wire that. So I'll be following up with our finance on the same. Then there is the issue of on the funds. Yes, the implementation. The issue of COVID. There's a team that is tracking the rates of infection and all that, and the patterns and the graphs. And Kagwe's team are projecting that because people are still moving all over in the country, the spike that we have, the fourth wave that we have in Western and Nyanza, there are chances that by July, that might spread to the entire country. So once again, let's be vigilant and careful. But that also means that if that happens, then the institutions of learning might be closed. So what we have agreed with Dr. Stephen is that we need to do our very best to fast track implementation where we can, so that if that was to happen, it will not caught up with us again. Because if it catches up with us, then we'll end up reporting nothing because of the challenges that will be there of mobility and people being trained together and all that. So we have a very short window of opportunity for us to fast track implementation. Then Sophie, this being the 6th month, I think our quarterly report is due by end of this month.
Yes.
So we need to start working on that so that by 15th, ADS has released the report to WHH. So that means we do not want to go reporting we have not done anything. And we also don't want to be late in reporting. That's something that we need to work towards. So I think that's what I heard from my end. Maybe any other issue we can follow up bilaterally. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Charles, for your updates. We hope to share this in written for all of us for the records. And I don't think there's any other business. Oh, wait, there's one. Lydia had shared with us that one of the mentors passed on, and please send our condolences to the family. And now you have another task to look for a replacement. So please work towards that, since now we are focusing on having the students being enrolled in school. So I thank the team for their cooperation, and I want to say it in Swahili. Nashukuru sana mmevumilia, especially when it comes to the funds reimbursement and the harassment that you may have gotten from the participants. We apologize on behalf of WHH. It's just beyond our control, but we hope to solve all this amicably. And it is my hope that we are going to do the reportings on time. And once we have a confirmation of the funds in our accounts, we will process it very fast and start the implementation, especially on the integration of the COVID funds before we have further infections in the country. I have no other comment, and I feel like blessing George to be our pastor today. There's a comment by Charles. We can have, yes, Charles, we have been having a 2 weeks review meeting, only that I could not be able to have it last Friday. I had the assignment, so this weekend, this Friday still we'll be having a weekly review meeting. Yes, thank you.
So, Sawa. Thank you, Sophie.
Yes.
I think we can close with a word of prayer. Our Father and our God, we want to thank you for the good health that, Lord, you've given us. Lord, I want to thank you again for the good meeting that you've given us. We've gone through the document, having a representative from all the regions. And Lord, to this far, you have given us wisdom. You have given knowledge. Lord, how we pray that you give us all that we need so that we implement the program as per the plan obtained. Thank you, Father, for your kindness. Lord, even of the Green Business Program, Lord, give us a humble time. Lord, as we implement, Lord, even beside the challenges, the Lord, you may guide us, the Lord may grant us a good health. Thank you, Father, Lord, for each and every individual. Lord, as we go back to our offices, to the remaining part of the day, bless us, oh dear Lord. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
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 Okay, have a blessed day all. Bye-bye.
Have a blessed day. Stay safe and see you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.